We're also improving the passive damage generally of a lot of their companion skills. So your wolves are going to feel better. Both passive and active damage is going up. And then same thing for ravens, their passive damage is going up. And then brutal ravens, this is the one that gives you another little, a couple more little ravens to go peck your enemies to death. They're also going to peck a little bit harder. So a little bit more fantasy fulfilling there, I think. And then we're also looking at rabies. We know that poison druid, like just if I want to do pure poison druid, is a little bit behind. So we're really targeting rabies as a pretty meaty upgrade there in its damage. This will also, by the way, improve the legendary, I think it's legendary where your wolves can cast rabies. That's also going to be improved by this. So just that whole archetype will be better. And then for legendaries and the class mechanic, we're just buffing some things that are a little bit underutilized, so they'll just be stronger. And then Necromancer, so here we've got quite a few things going on. Bone Spirit, this is the enhanced Bone Spirit, which is where when you crit enemies with the Bone Spirit, you get cooldown reduction. We're increasing that from 6 to 7 seconds, so it should be a little more friendly to players in this current state of the game. The Wither legendary upgrade here, this is the one where your shadow dot damage is going up, and we added a new way to scale that damage in the legendary space. We got feedback that this really just wasn't scaling enough to be meaningful, even when you invested a lot into willpower. So now you're just going to get a lot more bang for your buck. You're going to do, the requirement is less, so you're going to get more procs of the increase to your damage and chance to proc that damage, and then also just your bonus damage straight up is going to be better. So the shadow builds should be a lot better. Empowering Reaper, we got some feedback that totally makes sense to me now, and a year ago me should have thought of this, but the way that this used to work was Sever would spawn a pool of blight under enemies, and the chance was based on you critting them. So the idea was you would create a crit build, and then you turn your crit into these pools of damage, right? That sounds kind of cool. But it turns out, crit doesn't work with dots at all. So that pool doesn't get scaled with the way that you make the pool. So it just doesn't work design-wise. I take the blame for that. But now we're changing it, so you just have to damage enemies to spawn those pools of blight. So now this can actually be more friendly to dot builds.